Hey guys, and welcome to this quick little showcase. Today we are gonna make pixels dance. The main reason why I'm showing this is because it's just looking so amazing and also satisfying. Seeing all these pixels flying around like crazy is so much fun, and I had such a blast just experimenting around with this. But while playing around with this, I also stumbled across a pretty cool mechanic and a use case for this all. So stay tuned. In my first build, I'm pretty much showing just the basics of this. It has so much potential and is so satisfying to watch. So feel free to experiment it yourself, because there's literally like infinite ways to do this. If you want to get creative on your own, let me just give you a quick overview about the mechanics. If you launch a pixel up into the air and doesn't hit anything else than another launcher, then upon impact, it will immediately change direction where the next launcher is facing. If it hits anything else instead, like walls, belts, or even other pixels, it will not only pretty much stop its motion and also losing its, I'm gonna call it elevated status. I don't really know what I should call it, but elevated seems to be a fitting name, at least for me. So what does this elevated status actually do? For pixels that are not elevated, there's a game intern timer that is somewhere between half a second and 1 second. And once the timer hits, every pixel in the launcher or that is touching the launcher is getting the status elevated. Right here you can see what it means in practice. Although every single pixel of sand is going through every single launcher, there's only like, let's say kind of half of the pixel or maybe even less are getting launched to the right side. So let's go even further and put some launchers right where the flying pixels or the elevated pixels would be landing. And like we expected, due to these pixels being elevated, they don't fall through the launchers, not even one. If you take a closer look, you can see every now and then there's pixel crashing and therefore losing their elevated status and falling through the launchers. So before we are getting into our advanced builds, there's one little trick you might have noticed already if you played this game that I wanna show you. Even though Amethyst is really satisfying to watch, falling from the sky like leaves or feathers with just such a chill vibe. But what is even better than watching these beautiful pixels slowly but surely falling to the ground? Yes, you guessed right. Yeah, you right there. You are a factory builder. You search for efficiency, and these dang annoying purple balls have been annoying you your whole playthrough, and you couldn't get rid of them. Order your launchers today and launch them over to your neighbor in no time. Now that we know how, why, and how long pixels fly, we can look at our builds. In this example, I built two different ways to launch pixels up and one way to kind of launch pixels down. In this example, you can see the maximum and minimum distance between the opposite launchers. The maximum distance between launchers to launch pixels up is 3 tiles, which you can see on the right side. The pixels there are slowly but surely gaining more and more height. Upon reaching the top, they are getting tossed to the left side, where they arrive at the, I would call it, downwards launcher. These two stacks of launchers are 4 tiles apart of each other, which is the minimum distance they should have to slowly but surely launch pixels downwards. Now let's go over to the second build. To accelerate the lifting and lowering process, in this build I put the elevating launchers 2 tiles and the downwards launchers 5 tiles apart. This not only reduces the time the pixels need to get through the whole system, but also reduces the amount of times pixels are crashing into each other, because they are not staying as long at the same height as in the build before. So if that stunning appearance is still not enough reason for you to build this on your own, hold your ground, here comes the utility. In my own factory builds, I almost always limit the throughput to a very specific and constant amount, which in my opinion is one of the best things you can do for your factory. Because if you don't limit your flow, you almost always end in some sort of chaos. There is a way to limit the throughput to exactly 1 pixel height, but everything below that is pretty much impossible, or at least nothing I could think of or have seen. Although this has to be investigated a bit further, I am 100% sure that by tinkering around a bit with the length of the parkour, the height and the distance between launchers, you can pretty much achieve any amount of throughput below 1 pixel height of a belt that you could think of. Now I'm done with my explanation builds. But if you're curious to see how this would look in a slightly bigger scale, just hold on a bit longer. I think I've got something for you. Also, please tell me what you think about this. Are you fine with just the appearance, or do you want the utility as well? Feel free to leave a comment, even only to say hello, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. Alright, enough of that. Now let me go down and unleash the onslaught of dancing pixels. Sit back and enjoy.